a number of students have had questions about how to incorporate the checklist in ClassMon. So I'm just going to do an example here for the guidelines for task 2. We have the instructions on the LearnJCU. If we scroll down to the bit about checklists, it asks you to observe a child for gross motor and fine motor learning. I'll just do it for gross motor. So the gross motor learning statement, you make your observation by choosing your context, etc. And then in the second part, it's asking you to use the checklist, which is here, and put that into ClassMon. Now, what I suggest you do is just highlight this checklist from the LearnJCU site, exactly as I'm doing here. So just highlight all of that by dragging across, or what I just did then was click the mouse in front of the G, and I held down Shift on my keyboard, and then just clicked in the area below the table, and that will select the whole table and everything in it. So once I've selected that, I can do Edit Copy or Control C on my keyboard to copy that. Now I can come across to ClassMon and choose the student. So I'm just selecting Anna Townsend here, and I've gone to Health and Physical Learning and Gross Motor, and I go to Additional Comments. So firstly, you do whatever observations you have to do here by choosing the context and choosing the phase. Please take no notice of what I've done here, because I'm just doing this as an example. So you make your observation. If you need to add work samples, you can add work samples, some pictures there. I'm not sure whether you do in the task, but if you do, that's where you do it. And then under the Additional Comments tab, you can type information. So I can type some text, and then I can also paste the checklist. So there I go, I hit Control V on my keyboard, and that pastes the checklist in here. If I need to neaten that up at all, I can do that. I can highlight the information there and maybe center the heading, and then I scroll down and start adding the information. So for the name, I just double clicked on the dotted line there, and I can put a name in. So John Smith, and maybe add some spaces, but I'm sure you know how to do the rest of this. Age, venue, dates, maybe add a carriage return in there so the checklist has a bit of space, and then I can start recording into my checklist. So yes, 12th of the 6th, 2010, etc. And I can go through and fill in the checklist, and when I get to the bottom, I hit Save Next, and don't forget to hit that, because that's what records that into the database. So I hit Save Next, and then that's applied. So if I go back and look at the Additional Comments tab, you can see that it's now recorded what I've written into the checklist. Now when it comes time to produce your checklist as a PDF to submit to RESA, all you need to do is select your student, and you need to produce two types of report. The first report is a learning record, and the second report is the comments and work samples report. So the learning record is basically a learning record, such as that. I've got lots of observations in here because this is my sample, but you'll just have observations for the learning areas that you've been dealing with the comments that you've input here. Now that's your learning record, and you can produce that as a PDF by going Generate PDF. And then the second page you need to produce is the comments and work samples. So I select that, and again ignore the extra information I've got here. If we scroll up and look at the gross motor learning statement, here it is here, and there's our checklist, and there it is there. So I can actually go and generate a PDF and record that as a PDF file to submit to JCU. So I hope that explains how to produce your reports, and also how to incorporate the checklist into your report.